Have you ever felt a deep desire to grow spiritually, emotionally in your life? But every time you try to push forward, your nervous system feels overwhelmed? Like part of you wants expansion, and another part of you just wants to hide under a blanket in recovery? If that's you, I want you to know you're not broken. You may simply have a sensitive nervous system trying to grow in a world that teaches force instead of rhythm. Today, we are going to talk about this a different way in today's episode of Wisdom Wednesday: Expansion Without Exhaustion. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. I am Sarah May. I am your host. I am a trauma enforced life coach and an integrated energy healer and a spiritual mentor. I'm also the founder of Empowered Empaths Academy and Ascension Circle, where I help as many empaths as I can on their awakening journey. And one of the things I help with is burnout. And this month in um, the Empaths Awakening Facebook group, the theme of the month is Bloom Without Burnout, which is where we get today's theme for Wisdom Wednesday, which is expansion without exhaustion. So today we're going to talk about something that I see over and over again with empathic and sensitive people, spiritually aware people. We feel a deep call to grow and to heal and to expand, to ascend, to become more of who we really are. But many of us have learned that to pursue that growth in a way that overwhelms us and overwhelms our nervous system. So today we're going to explore a different way to do that, a path that I like to call expansion without exhaustion, growth that really honors your nervous system sensitivity, and the pace of your soul. So let's look at why sensitive people burn out. One thing I want to normalize right away is this. If you are a sensitive or empathic person, your nervous system is literally processing more information than the average person. You're picking up on emotional signals, on energetic shifts, on subtle cues in the environment. For many sensitive people, childhood also involved some form of emotional intensity, unpredictability, trauma, or survival energy that would lead towards hypervigilance. So the nervous system learned something important but exhausting. It learned that growth happens through pressure, through urgency, or through crisis, which means that when we try to expand or grow later in our life, our system automatically can respond with overwhelm, not because we are weak, but because our nervous system has never been shown any other way. It says growth is associated with these feelings. Many of us were taught that growth requires pushing. Push harder, do more, heal faster, break through, right? When we went to school, if we were sick, and when I went to school, if you didn't have a fever or vomit, you were staying there. You were dealing with it, right? Females, if you were born in a female body and a menstruating body, the second you started menstruating, you were told that you were going to be uncomfortable once a month, and you were still expected to go on through your life, right? Deal with it. It's uncomfortable. Keep pushing. Okay. This kind of culture creates and teaches force. Hustle culture teaches force. And while breakthrough can happen through these means, it's not the only way that transformation occurs. In fact, for sensitive people, constant pushing often leads to burnout, emotional flooding, spiritual fatigue. Real expansion is actually rhythmic. It's just like breathing or the tides, just like the seasons. There's expansion, there's integration, there's ebbing, there's flowing. Both are sacred and both are important. So let's talk about what expansion with exhaustion, without exhaustion, can look like, right? What does it actually look like? It looks like small, consistent shifts instead of massive emotional upheaval, massive emotional leaps. It looks like small, little steps, not giant steps, right? It looks like creating safety in the nervous system before asking yourself to grow. It looks like approaching healing with curiosity instead of pressure and shame. And it looks like giving ourselves adequate time for integration because transformation isn't just about the moment of insight, it's about allowing that insight to slowly rewire the way that your body, your mind, and your spirit move through the world. It's about taking that insight and that vibration and that gift that we've been given and continuing it throughout our life. So I'd like to reframe a little bit. Here are a few questions that I often invite people to sit with when they want to grow without overwhelming themselves. Instead of asking yourself, how do I change everything? Right? Because we so often put so much pressure on ourselves to do everything and to do it fast, right? But instead of asking yourself, how do I change everything and make my life a completely different life by tomorrow? You might ask yourself, what pace actually honors my nervous system? What pace can I move at and work at and not be exhausted at the end of the day? Not still be exhausted when I wake up tomorrow, right? Ask yourself what feels 5% braver, not 500%, right? What just feels a little bit better, a little bit more like me, a little bit more authentic, right? We're not looking to completely do a 180 in one day. We're taking one little step towards our authentic self, one little step towards our next best life. Another question, what support helps me integrate? What support helps me integrate this change in a way that lasts? What do I need? Do I need to make sure that I have plenty of time for rest? Do I need to make sure that I have time every morning to get up and do some yoga and stretch? Do I need to make sure that when I wake up in the morning, I'm waking up for me and not some job, right? What do you need to do? What support would help you integrate? Because substantial and sustainable growth doesn't shock the system, it gently invites the system forward. So, starting to ask ourselves these questions starts that process in a gentle way that doesn't attack our nervous system. So, real quick, let's take a moment of integration right now, right? Because you might be like, what do you mean integration? What do you mean? Right? Let's do a moment of integration right now. We are going to take a tiny moment to let our nervous systems catch up. And you don't have to do anything dramatic. You don't have to do anything dramatic at all. You might want to put your hand on your stomach and another hand on your heart. That's very supportive and safety feeling. And then just gently inhale through your nose and slowly exhale through your mouth. Allow your shoulders to soften. Notice the chair, ground, the earth beneath you, supporting your body. As you continue to breathe slowly in through your nose and out through your mouth. Sensitive nervous systems expand best when they feel safe and supported. Beautiful. Take one more breath and know that this nice, soft feeling, this is what expansion without exhaustion can look like. Small pauses that allow your body to stay with the growth. Just taking a moment to be still and present and breathe. That's it. Super easy. Nothing dramatic, just like I promised, right? So now that we did that, let's take just a moment to reflect. And now that you're still and here in the moment, let's ask ourselves, where am I pushing too hard? And if you're here live or even on the replay and you have an answer to this, pop it in the comments below. Where are you pushing too hard? Ask yourself, where am I pushing too hard? Give yourself a second to answer it. And then ask yourself, where might gentleness create more growth? Where in my life could I be easier on myself? And it could benefit me. Give yourself a second to get that answer. Know that that answer is for you. I'd love for you to share it with us, but you don't need to. Just take a breath and ask yourself these questions. Sometimes the next step isn't more effort. Sometimes it's more permission. This is one of the reasons that I created the Ascension Circle membership. It is a safe and gentle place for expansion. We created a moment for ourselves here, and it can be hard to find those moments for ourselves. And Ascension Circle has a lot of really amazing tools and offerings to help you create more of those moments. It's a space specifically designed for sensitive and empathic people who want to expand spiritually and emotionally without overwhelming their system. Inside Ascension Circle, we focus on gentle energy work, nervous system support, and creating space for growth that feels nourishing instead of exhaustion. So if you're really loving this space for yourself and you'd like a little bit more of it, you may want to consider an Ascension Circle membership. We would absolutely love to have you. I want you to remember that growth does not have to hurt. Your nervous system deserves kindness, and expansion can be gentle, right? This is very important. I want you to remember this at all times, even if you don't come join me in the circle. If this is the last time, the only time we ever interact, please remember growth does not have to hurt. Your nervous system absolutely deserves kindness, and expansion can be gentle. It does not have to be painful. If this session of Wisdom Wednesday is resonating with you and you want to go deeper, you want to know more, I would love to have you join us on March 29th. We are going to do an expansion without exhaustion workshop. It's going to be 60 to 90-minute deep dive. March 29th, that's a Sunday at 1 p.m. CST. This is a master class. It is $33 to attend. If you are an Ascension Circle member, this is part of your membership. And if you are considering Ascension Circle, it is also $33 a month. So if you were to do that for just 1 month, you can see everything Ascension Circle has to offer and get this amazing workshop as well as access to other workshops. But either way, I'd love to have you there if you want to learn more about how you can expand without exhaustion and continue this conversation. I'd love for you to join us March 29th. And if you want just more support this month and to really support yourself in this blooming without burnout that we're doing, I'd love to have you in our Reiki circle. We're going to be doing that not this Sunday, but the Sunday afterwards. And this is a gentle distance Reiki experience. It's live on Zoom. You lay down like a guided meditation. I guide you through some visualization. We do the Reiki together. It is customized for each and every session. It's a beautiful space to receive, reset, and align. Again, free for Ascension Circle members. If you want to join us and you're not ready for the Ascension Circle, that's totally fine. You can join us for an investment of only $13. All those details are in my link tree, and I'll pop them below. So now that we've been here, we've seen some different ways that we can support ourselves and what we can do to allow ourselves to expand without exhaustion. Let me know, or just ask yourself, how will you be supporting yourself? With this new information, what are you going to take away from this session to support yourself? And even if you don't share it with the group, it's okay. Make that promise to yourself and let yourself know, what are you going to do? Are you going to give yourself a moment to stop and breathe 3 times a day? Are you going to give yourself 15 minutes in the morning that's just for you? Are you going to join the Ascension Circle and put aside some time for yourself every day to work towards your growth in a gentle and supported way? What are you going to do to support yourself moving forward? Thank you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for spending the last 17 minutes of your life with me. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for doing this work. When we do this work, we are raising our vibration. Even if you didn't make a commitment to yourself today, just sitting here for the last 17, 18 minutes and absorbing this information, just asking the questions that I asked throughout this episode, just stating them in your mind once starts your subconscious looking for the answers. It creates growth. It creates the subtle growth that we talked about, and it plants little seeds that can start to grow gently. So no, even by being here, you have started to take some gentle steps towards expanding without exhaustion. Thank you so much for doing this expansion work. When you do this expansion work, you raise your vibration. When you raise your vibration, you don't only raise your own vibration, you raise the vibration of everybody around you. And in turn, you raise the vibration of the collective as a whole. It is my opinion that this is the most sacred work that any of us could do. And I thank you deeply for doing this work. With that said, the beauty and the light in me bows to the beauty and the light in you. And so I say, namaste. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.